Well, if you ever need proof that actors are nothing more than empty-headed morons, well, look no further. Because on May 10th of 2023, actress Adele James went onto the Wayne Ayers podcast and said this.
I said, what's your opinion about people, there's a lot of saying people are saying Cleopatra's being blackwashed, but in Hollywood has historically whitewashed Egyptian historical figures. What is your opinion about that?
I just think, well, firstly, blackwashing isn't a thing, is it?
From the History Channel, 10 little known facts about Cleopatra. Number 1. Cleopatra was not Egyptian. Imagine my shock. Now, this article came out in 2021, so with a reasonable degree of certainty, I'm pretty sure it's still accurate. Now, Cleopatra is descended from Ptolemy I, who was one of Alexander the Great's generals, and when he died, his kingdom was divided up amongst his generals, and guess what? Ptolemy I, he got Egypt. Now, we know that Cleopatra is not black because there's actually plenty of murals and busts of her face. And here we have a recreation with her having red hair. There's been some speculation that she might actually have been a redhead. Not sure how much proof there is around that, but I think that's a pretty accurate recreation, and there's several others, and as you can see, not black. Definitely Mediterranean. So yes, this is definitely blackwashing.
I just think, it's really sad to me the extent to which people want to, and it's not just Egyptians and it's not all Egyptians, but people want to colonize and
Well then, I find it kind of interesting that you use the colonize word, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're colonizing Egyptian history. This is the very thing that the wokerati goes and complains about, cultural appropriation. That's exactly what this is. Now, ultimately, the problem is that the director came in here and said that this is a reimagined Cleopatra. The issue is that this is supposed to be a docu-series. If it's a docu-series, it means it's supposed to be based on history and fact. You can't reimagine something and call it a documentary, because you're just lying at that point. You're lying to your audience. This is nothing more than wish fulfillment. Like I said, it's cultural appropriation and colonizing of Egyptian culture. And the other issue, too, is just because something was whitewashed in the past does not give you justification for going and blackwashing something. It's still equally wrong.
And it's just upsetting. I find it sad that people are either so self-loathing or so threatened by blackness that they...
First off, I find this argument completely retarded. So basically, what she's doing is she's saying that the Egyptians who filed a lawsuit against Netflix because of this, because they're very protective of their history and culture for obvious reasons, you're calling them racist because your production inaccurately portrayed Cleopatra that they admit is also not Egyptian. My God, the gall of this woman.
They feel the need to do that, to separate Egypt from the rest of the continent. And
seriously, where this woman learned about Africa, like the Ku Klux Klan of higher learning? Africa is a continent, much like Europe. And in Africa, there are different countries. Again, much like Europe, which means there are a multitude of ethnic groups within Africa. You can't take a look at Egypt and compare it to the rest of Africa, because the rest of Africa is different from the rest of Africa. This is the issue when you base race just off of skin color and not based off of an ethnic group, which is basically a shared common genetics along with a culture. What this is unapologetic ignorance.
I just think it's even more important that we're telling this story the way that we are, because actually we don't know. It's a big question mark. Was she mixed race? Was she not? She wasn't black, we know that, but she might have been part black. Absolutely.
Again, we have multitude of evidence from archaeology that says that you're wrong.
Absolutely, with the confines of within the realm of possibility.
No, it's not. This is pure fantasy.
Based on the academic research. So, if people don't want to engage with that research, the expert research.
What research? What expert research are you referring to? Because what it sounds like, the expert research that you're referring to is a bunch of horse shit.
That's not really a me problem. That's kind of a them problem.
No, this is 100% a you problem. and your director's problem, and Netflix's problem. And quite frankly, you owe the people of Egypt an apology.
You know, I can't. We've done our research. It's out there.
I'm kind of curious, what research are you citing? Because the top Egyptologist in Egypt basically says you're full of shit. Zahi Horus criticizes portrayal of Cleopatra by Netflix. I announced these days to the media that Cleopatra was not black, Zahi posted on his Facebook account in response to the controversy surrounding the new Netflix series. This film that is coming on Netflix is not accurate and gives the wrong information on ancient Egypt. The famous Egyptologist continued. Cleopatra was Greek, and she was similar to the queens and princesses of Macedonia, wrote Zahi, alluding to the fact that Cleopatra was a member of the Ptolemy dynasty who ruled over Egypt between 305 BC and 30 BC. If you can't believe a famous Egyptologist who happens to be from Egypt, I don't know what to tell you. You should probably get your head checked. But yeah, I'm sure your research is 100% accurate. Like I said, you, the director of the stupid film, and Netflix owe the people of Egypt an apology. Well, if you enjoyed this rant, I suggest you go and check out another one of my videos. I have one called How to Save an Already Dead Franchise That You Killed the Disney Way. It's a lot of fun. Go check it out. Click the thing. Come on, you know you want to.